something magical about finding new climbing routes. The whole process, starting from finding a blank piece of rock that looks interesting, to placing the bolts and trying it for the first time and eventually maybe even climbing it, it's like a bit of a journey. I've been trying to focus on 3 projects lately. One of them is a short route I bolted a couple of years ago in an area close to my home. It's a very textured limestone. It looks like somebody sprayed a bunch of concrete onto the wall. So at first you don't really see a lot of holds, but then when you look closely, you kind of figure out that you can hold on to almost everything. Climbing is very technical, and most of the holes they need a lot of precision. For example, that every finger has its own spike to hold on to. It's not very steep, so the foot placements are even more important than usual. And I was surprised to feel that my calves were getting as tired as my forearms, which is quite rare for a sport climb this hard. The route breaks down into a 20-move 8C leading into a boulder problem. That's not very long, but it feels like it takes forever. All the holds are facing the wrong way, and you have to do a ton of foot movements that make it really hard to do the boulder problem after the initial part of the route. One of these routes where kind of everything needs to click, and if you make a small mistake, it kicks you right off. Initially I wanted to name it Adam's Dream, since it's kind of the quintessence of what Adam Ondra is absolutely best at. But I didn't want to encourage Adam too much in coming over and grading an 8B. And then when we were joking that you need to climb like a starfish, the name kind of stuck. If you're looking for a project, it's not even necessary to start bolting, since in most crags there's plenty of unclimbed routes that just need to be reactivated. Another route that I've been trying on and off is quite the opposite to the Starfish project. It's this massive 35-meter overhang with barely climbing on side pulls and finger pockets. It was bolted around 20 years ago by Fürstl, one of the strongest climbers of his generation, but he never really tried it much and left it for the future. Hence it became an open project, and I tried to get some other climbers psyched on this route. Due to some finger injuries from the past, I'm always a bit nervous to pull on 1 and 2 finger pockets. But I noticed that over time, just working on the route was enough to feel confident and strengthen those tendons. Therefore, the problem is, you can't really do many tries in a day because it really rips your skin and makes your fingers sore. So this initial part of the route doesn't have a distinct crux. It's more like 25 moves of hard power endurance climbing without any breather. And it leads up to a big hole with a good knee bar rest. It's almost a bit of a shame that there's a rest in the middle which is that good, because it doesn't really matter that much anymore what you climbed until then, because the rest is so good. So you can rest until your calves get really sore, and then there's some easier climbing that leads to a 2-move boulder problem that is guarding the top. It has become a bit of a head game since I've fallen off several times at the very top of the cliff after climbing, for 35 meters, but it's a good training route and it's just great to climb on. So over the years, I've been looking for this ultimate project, something that was worth spending so much time on. And I wanted this climb to be close to my home, steep, overhanging, long. I wanted it to be the perfect route. And if I developed this kind of everlasting, like this burning flame to find this route, that gave me the motivation to just hop around the area just to see different walls, whether I could find this route. And I think I finally found it. So I thought I finally found this route, and then it felt that hard that I started hesitating whether it was actually possible. So I'd been trying it for several sessions, brushing it for several days, trying to find new holds. And there's a boulder problem up there that seemed so complex, and I just couldn't find a solution. And that was exactly the point where I kind of got scared that it was too hard for me. Like a new route, you never know whether it's going to be 9A, 9C, 8B, it can be anything. So it doesn't give you that confidence, okay, I can do this. Okay, I don't have the confidence that I can climb 9C. So if this route will end up being 9C, then I'm going to spend a whole lot of time trying it, and I might end up failing. And that kind of got me a little scared. But then again, I decided I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to try and see if it works. And if somebody climbs it before me, then I'll probably have an estimate of the grade, so I can see if it's possible. And if I do it, I do it. And if I end up failing, then so be it. And I hope I will have had a nice time on it. So along the way, over the past 15 years that I owned a power drill, I developed projects in the area and the wider area around me that have kind of built up to this giant heap of projects that I feel like I will never be able to climb all of them. Which is also nice because I leave something to the next generation. And some of them are crap, some of them are great, some of them are just in between. But it's nice to to have the feeling that there's endless projects for me out there that I will always have something to work on, which is kind of a luxury of living in a place where I live, that there's so much rock that hasn't been touched yet that I'll never end up getting bored.